I saw the fire and I walked right in it. And I won't be out of it until I get all the way through it. And I'm not all the way through it yet. I want her body back.
Dennis Bowman, the Allegan County man who confessed to murdering his adopted daughter back in 1989, finally sentenced in her killing this morning.
The 14-year-old girl was adopted just 9 months old. Her biological mother was in court for that sentencing today and spoke to Fox 17's Michael Martin after Bowman's fate was sealed. Michael joins us live in the studio with the latest on this case. And Michael, at one point, this investigation had gone cold.
Janice, Josh, it had for a long time. Now, she was known as Andrea Michelle Bowman when she disappeared in March 1989, adopted by the family 13 years prior. Her biological mom, Kathy Turkanian, first named her Alexis before giving her up for a better life than she could provide at the time. What she couldn't know at the time was that Dennis Bowman would end up being the one to cut her life down short. Now, he'll spend the rest of his life behind bars paying for his crimes.
Mr. Bowman, you're here for sentencing today.
Early Monday morning, Dennis Bowman, now 72 years old, walked nonchalantly into an Allegan County courtroom to be sentenced for the 1989 murder of his adopted daughter.
At 14 years old, she had the courage to disclose that her adopted father, Dennis Bowman, had been sexually abusing her.
Andrea Michelle Bowman disappeared March 11th, 1989, just months after she told teachers and police that Dennis was sexually assaulting her. For decades, her adopted family told investigators she had stolen $100 cash and simply run away.
That you would chop her body up with an axe and keep it close to you. I'm not sure what that means. But you didn't get rid of the body completely.
Dennis Bowman eventually admitted to killing his daughter and burying her body in the backyard of his Allegan County home. But that confession wouldn't come before he was implicated in another violent crime, the 1980 rape and murder of Norfolk, Virginia woman Kathleen Doyle.
But when faced with extradition to Virginia for another matter, he finally confessed that Andrea was indeed buried in his own backyard. He further confessed that he tried to dismember her body with a machete, but that didn't work. So he switched to an axe to put her into a barrel.
Andrea was buried in his backyard under a thin layer of concrete, not 100 feet from where a missing poster with her face hung for years.
Will Mr. Bowman be looked into for additional crimes in the area here or in Norfolk?
Law enforcement, when the opportunity arises, will continue to look at that. But at this point, our focus has been on Andrea and finding justice for her.
Kathy Turkanian, the girl's biological mom, has also been focused on Andrea, or Alexis, the name she originally gave her daughter, suspecting Dennis Bowman of killing her daughter for years before he was actually charged.
To know what we've gone through to get justice for Alexis, I mean, what would you say to her now that you've done it?
I would say rest in peace, baby girl.
Bowman is already facing 2 life sentences for that murder in Virginia. On Monday, he received an additional 35 to 50 years for Andrea's death.
His numerous assaults, his behavior in this case, his other convictions all clearly indicate that Mr. Bowman is a serious, dangerous man that has harmed many communities, many families.
I spent 10 years trying to get this monster, and to see that happen without ever seeing his face or hearing his voice is amazing to me.
For Kathy, she always knew that Monday's hearing would happen eventually. She's felt it deep in her soul since she found out the daughter she had tried to give a better life was taken by the man entrusted to protect her.
And, you know, maybe I'm just all the women he ever raped, all the women he ever killed right here. Maybe I'm my little daughter that hovered over all of it, watched it all, heard him confess about it, heard him talk about it, you know? Maybe I'm that, maybe I'm his worst nightmare, huh?
Yeah, so certainly an end to a case that we've been following for many years now. Kathy is trying to get her daughter's remains back so she can give her a proper burial. She told me earlier today that Dennis Bowman's wife, Brenda, has given her just half of those remains. She says she won't give up until she has all of her daughter back. For now, live in the studio, Michael Martin, Fox 17 News.